right, Shalom. Call on Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Bakakwadash. Want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who will well taught me his truth, and peace and blessings be to the hopeful elect. On the brother Yashar, Gabar, back to again, on another lesson. Lord willing, this lesson be edifying to the elect. All right. It came across this video. All right. It says, well, white people are the problem. All right. But before I play it, I'm going to get this right here. The book of Psalms, chapter 64, verse 8. So they shall make their own tongues to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. Yeah, so, Esau, Edom, all right, is exposing himself, all right, his own tongue and falling upon himself. All right, you have these Edomites, just exposing each other wickedness, man. All right, and you have low-level Edomites, that's at the bottom, all right, the catching hell, they don't have that much money as the rest, all right, and they're, speaking out against their own people, man, all right, so in this video, I'm not saying he's an Edomite, all right, but he appears to be, he even said, well, my people are the problem, all right, so I'm gonna play the video. It says, well, white people are the problem, all right, we know, all right, there's no such thing as a white person or a black person or brown, all right, the so-called, all right, this is why we say so-called white man, all right, it's Esau Edom according to the Bible. All right, he's the devil. All right, he deceived the world. All right, to having people believe that he's something else other than Esau Edom. All right, so let's see what he got to say. So bear with me. Let me see.
Passage, white people. Slavery, white people. Jim Crow, white people. Lynchings, white people. Trail of Tears, white people. Wounded Knee, white people. Asian internment camps, white people. The vast majority of gun violence, white people. You see a trend? January 6th, white people. Ahmaud Arbery, 3 white guys. George Floyd, white guys. The felon in the White House, a white man. You see a trend? But somehow, the white man has convinced stupid, uneducated, trailer park trash, 3-teeth inbreds, white supremacists, Triple K members, that the brown people picking your almonds and your walnuts and your lettuce and your avocados, somehow they're the fucking problem. They're not. We are. And until we grasp...
All right. So, yeah, like he said, he deceived the world as if, Jake is the problem. All right, but meantime, hey, he's the problem. All right, he's the cause of all this shit that's going on, man. All right, he's the reason your ass is in the ghettos, you're in the slums. Because not only, he deceived his own people. All right, had them walking around all prideful and shit. All right, but he deceived 2/3. All right, 2/3 worship this devil, man. All right, they blind to of him being Esau Edom, all right, he tricked you to think that he's pure, all right, calling himself white, all right, all this shit, man, as if he's just, not the problem, all right, as if Jake is the problem, all right, the niggas in the hoods is the problem, all right, but meanwhile, he's poisoning you, all right, he's polluting the air, all right, the food you eat is tampered with, all right, but he's the cause of all this shit, man. All right, depopulating the earth. All right, he wants to kill you off. All right, he doing all this shit. All right, but he make Jake as the face. All right, what the scripture says, well, he's an accuser of thy brother. All right, but back to the point, he's the problem. All right, he caused the problem. He's the reason why everything is getting ran how it's getting ran. All right, because the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. All right, who's the wicked? Esau Edom. All right, the so-called white man. All right, and people that are waking up, all right, and realizing who's in control. All right, who's the cause of all this shit. You see videos of the small hats. What they did, the Gaza Strip. All right. You know, people are seeing, they ain't the people of Yahweh. All right, they ain't the people of God, as the world ignorantly call God. You know, JC. The Yahweh Shai. All right, who the world ignorantly call JC. All right, isn't a so-called white man, blonde hair, blue eyes. All right, so his lies and his wickedness are being exposed. You know, so let's see what else we have. Let's grab this scripture here. This is Jeremiah chapter 13, verse 22. And if thou say in thy heart, wherefore come these things upon me? For the greatness of thy iniquity are thy skirts discovered, and thy heels are made bare. Yeah, the wickedness is being made bare. All right, Esau, his iniquity, his wickedness. All right, the skirts is being discovered. All right, people are waking up to his bullshit. All right. He points the finger and blame everything else. All right, calling everyone a terrorist. You know, you know, hate groups and all this shit. But meanwhile, he's this evil, cruel person. You know. So it says what the iniquities of are thy skirts discovered, and thy heels are made bare. Yeah. So Esau, is being discovered. You know. Let's grab this, the book of Isaiah, chapter 29, verse 15. Woe to them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in dark. They say, who seeth us and who knoweth us? Yeah, so woe, meaning what? Destruction, are to them that seek deep to hide their counsel. All right? And that's what he do. He have counsels, all right, about how can we, make people sick? How can we poison people? How can we keep the Israelites blinded? These are the type of counsels he having, all right, behind closed doors. It says whether the works are in dark. They say, who seeth us? Who knoweth us? Who knoweth us? Yeah, so they believe that they're not, being found out. All right, hey, do the Lord sees us? All right. They think nobody know who they are. All right, dealing with what these elites, these Rothschilds, the banker families, who's in control, who behind the media, is the television you watch, the sports, everything to keep you blinded. All right, to the fact of what's going on. All right. Now it says what? They seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their work are in dark. They say, who seeth us? They say, who seeth us and who knoweth us? All right, but, for years, people was blinded. All right, but now people know, and this devil, he just spent years, all right, he just spent billions of dollars, all right, to keep, all right, you not knowing who you are, to keep you blinded, have you worship at JC. All right, he's the reason. All right, you speak English. All right, you speak Spanish. All right, this is how you know, that who we was captive under, man. All right, it's showing you, who the devil is. All right, who had you in captivity. All right, why are you speaking Spanish? Why are you speaking, English? All right. So, and this devil, is being found out. All right, he's being discovered. All right, so, and we in an information age. All right, you can search these things. All right, you have AI, you have ChatGPT exposing them. All right, his own people exposing them. His internet. Everything is just being found out. All right, so it's to the point that you can't deny, all right, this truth. All right, you can't deny it. All right, so let's grab this. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 8. And then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. All right, yeah, the wicked is being revealed. All right, and who's the Lord's mouth? All right, the prophets. All right, the prophets are, on the scene, teaching, all right, on the highways and hedges, all right, exposing, All right, who is Esau, Edom, who the devil is. All right, all due to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, because it's the Lord speaking through brothers. All right. Now it says whether the wicked is being revealed. Who is the wicked? All right, Esau, Edom. All right, he's being revealed. All right, his wickedness is being revealed. Who he is being revealed. All right. And ultimately, what the Lord is going to destroy him. All right, the Lord is going to destroy him, man. All right, we in the end. All right, the scripture says what the gospel should be preached, and then the end shall come. All right, the gospel is out here. All right, and you can't deny this truth. You know, anyone denying this truth, all right, the Lord is not dealing with them. All right, they're not part of the elect. All right, you deny this truth, you teaching anything outside this truth. All right, hey, what? Hey, the Lord ain't dealing with you, man. All right, and you're going to be destroyed right along with this devil, right along with America. All right, Babylon the Great. All right. So what? The wicked is being revealed. All right, there's no denying this truth. You know. Let's grab this. The book of Job, chapter 30, verse 8. So they were children of fools, yea, children of base men. There was valor in the earth. Yeah, so children of base men. All right, that's Esau Edom for you, man. All right, base, low. All right, low vibration, just wicked. You know, cruel, just nasty, all that. You know, base. All right, base men. All right, this is what you see. All right, this is why shit is getting ran, how it's getting ran. All right, and then hey, what the scripture says, there's no good in him. All right, what is crooked cannot be made straight. All right, just not in him to do good. You know, he just a wicked person, man. All right, you know. So it says what that they were valor than the earth. Go to this word valor. All right, in the blue letter. It says what? To strike, scourge, smite. Yeah, so to strike, to smite, you know, he's a murderer, all right? He's a killer, you know? He loved blood. What the guy was saying in the beginning, all right, he was saying how, you know, he hated the lynches, you know, the mass murders, the shootings, the all that shit, all right? And this is what Esau Edom been doing, all right? You know, no one else, you know, is like that, man. All right? You know, the small hats, the what they did on what the Gaza Strip, all that shit, you know, is coming out. All right, people seeing, hey, who is the devil? All right, who is Esau Edom? You know, they portray themselves to be the people of God. No, they can't be that. All right, where and who is he? As the scriptures say. If that's not him, where and who is he? You know, who else is doing this shit? All right, you can't point the finger at the tribes, at the Israelites. You know, oh, it's the Mexicans crossing the border. You know, it's the niggas in the hood. And no, you know. All right, he's the cause of all this shit. You know, he's behind the scene committing all these crimes. All right, and his what is called his background check that came back. All right, Esau has a background check. All right, and it's showing that hey, he's a wicked, vile person. You know, the scripture called him vile. So let's get this. Isaiah chapter 32, verse 5. It says, the vile person shall be no more called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. Yeah, the vile person is going to a few definitions of this word vile. It says what? A foul, nasty, unpleasant, bad. Let's go down some more. It says hateful, wicked, evil, dark, monstrous, vicious, sinful, corrupt. All right, that's Esau for you, man. All right, perverted. You know, all this shit, icky, gross. All right, that's Esau for you, man. All right, hey, he's all that, you know. But he did deceive. All right, you people thinking that he's just this pure, you know, innocent person. All right, well he's the wicked. All right, he's the wicked of the earth, you know. So it says what? We'll be no more called liberal. All right, you know, no more, you know, pure, no more, you know, hiding the fact of who he really is. You know, why is that? All right, because the prophets are out here, man. All right, you know, his wickedness is being uncovered. You know, and this devil, hey, he got some captivity to go into, man. All right, there's no salvation for him. All right, this devil is through. You know, this is why the Lord is going to come back and to destroy this place. All right, and set things in order, in this natural order, how it's supposed to be. And if you're not looking for that, all right, yeah, you're part of the fucking problem. All right, you know, you want to see this place go on and on. Hey, the scripture says what, you know, how it go, pretty much, you know, I forgot, Salaki Lord, when I do a video on that next, but, you know, hey, this place would be through. All right, if this place was to, you know, keep going on and on. All right, but hey, that's why the Lord is going to intervene and destroy this place. All right, so I'm ending it off with that. Lord will in this video be edifying to the elect, giving all praises, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, B'Kakodash, and give double honors to the elders and apostles who wear millstone. To next time, say Shalom.